Polemy, let's move to theory number 3 now. This is something that the government kicked up a real storm about. This was with the use of the word Bharat instead of India. Whether it was G20 invitations, whether it was notifications used during the BRICS summit or the ASEAN summit, or during the G20 itself, where Bharat was the Prime Minister's nameplate. The buzz has been that, is India going to change its name to Bharat? Is the government going to move a bill towards that? Polemy, I personally don't think so. I think the government has just been trying to popularize the use of the word Bharat, and I don't think there's any official bill that is going to be moved as such. Is that what you're hearing as well?
Again, yes, that's exactly what, government sources are telling me as I'm speaking to them, whether that's possible. And they're saying, what sort of constitutional amendment are you speaking about? Because Bharat is there in the Constitution. Article 1 of the Constitution says India, that is Bharat. Could this be a switchover? Bharat, that is India? Again, the government, at least sources that I'm speaking to, doesn't feel the need so. What you've rightly said is that the government feels the need to popularize the usage of Bharat over India. And hence you saw a lot of it being used at the G20 summit, how the Prime Minister's name placard read, and otherwise as well throughout the summit in very little details. Instead of India, we used Bharat. But that is exactly what the government wants to do, give one more precedence over the other. But what they're saying is that we don't require a constitutional amendment for the same because it's already in the Constitution. But as we've discussed in the past, this was one of the theories that kind of picked up a lot of more steam than the others, simply because it was on the 18th of September, in the past, when in fact the Constituent Assembly debated the draft Constitution and adopted Article 1 of the Constitution, which again had debated a lot of variations for how we're going to refer to India or Bharat in the Article 1. And this is the date, 18th of September 2023, when indeed the new session, I beg your pardon, the special session of Parliament begins.
Okay, very interesting. 3 theories done, 3 to go, Polemy. Let's go to theory number 4 now. So the 3 theories we've talked about so far, all unlikely, if not totally, not happening in this special session. Theory number 4 is another big one that dropped out of nowhere, and that's one nation, one poll. A lot of politics, Polemy, has happened over one nation, one poll. 3 or 4 days of angry debates have taken place, but no word from the government itself, even though the government in the past has talked about the benefits of one nation, one poll. A panel has been formed to look into this, headed by, former President Ramnath Kovind, Polemy. So one wonders whether ONOP could be one of the things on the agenda in this session of Parliament.
Again, categorically denied by sources that I've spoken to. Like you said, a committee has just been formed. Former President Ramnath Kovind is heading that committee. It's an 8-member panel. Of course, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary chose to withdraw from that panel. So currently 7 members. What sources are telling me is that they estimate that this committee could take at least 3 years to come up with its report. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process where they'll speak to a lot of stakeholders. The government itself has said that if at all it has to move forward with this agenda, which it wants to move forward with, it has to seek the political consensus of, state chief ministers, governors, all political parties as well, before they finalize as to how, they're going to make this happen, the modalities of it in terms of state elections, in terms of Lok Sabha elections. So there's a lot that needs to be discussed. At least 5 different articles of the Constitution will have to be amended for this to become possible. You have to think about the resources holding elections with as many VVPAT machines, EVMs across the country at the same time. Huge expenditure in terms of, deployment of security forces, poll officials. Again, all of these nitty-gritties need to be discussed. So it's going to be a while before this committee indeed comes up with a report, Shiv.